Chosen ones, what God's about to do in your life will shock you. Stop scrolling. Stop doubting. Stop wondering if this moment is meant for you. This isn't just another video in your feed. This is a divine interruption, a sacred whisper from heaven itself, crafted for your soul at this exact second. Do you feel that stirring in your chest? That's not your imagination. That's the Holy Spirit confirming what you've always known deep down. You were born for something greater than the life you're living. Right now, as the world spins through its chaos, God has pressed pause on the noise to speak directly to you. This message isn't for the masses. It's for the remnant, the chosen ones, the ones whose names are written in eternity's book, with a purpose so bold it makes angels lean forward and demons tremble. If you're still listening, that's you. You didn't stumble here by accident. Heaven hunted you down. While billions sleep through ordinary lives, God has orchestrated this moment to awaken something inside you that's been dormant far too long. Your heart is racing, isn't it? Your hands feel different holding this device. That's because your spirit recognizes this as a divine appointment. You've been carrying burdens no one else sees, a heaviness in your chest, a longing for purpose, a question that haunts you in the quiet moments. Why me? Why this pain? Why this waiting? Let me tell you something that will shift everything you thought you knew about your struggles. Every tear you've cried, every door that slammed shut, every night you wrestled with doubt, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. God hasn't forgotten you, chosen one. He's been forging you. This video unveils a unique truth. Your deepest fears are the keys to your greatest breakthroughs. The world has taught you to run from fear, to hide from it, to let it chain you to a smaller life. But God says something different. He says your fears are the map to your destiny, the very places where His power will shine brightest. Think about it. Moses feared speaking, yet he led a nation. Esther feared death, yet she saved her people. Peter feared sinking, yet he walked on water. Your fear isn't a stop sign, it's a signpost, pointing to the breakthrough God's about to unleash in your life. What God's about to do will shock you, not because it's impossible, but because it's been possible all along, waiting for you to step into it. Picture a radiant door standing before you, its surface glowing with golden light, your name carved in letters that pulse with divine energy. This door isn't locked, it's not barred, it's waiting for you to turn the handle. But here's the urgency. This door has a timer, and it's counting down. Jeremiah 1:5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." God knew this moment would come. He knew you'd be here, wrestling with doubts, battling fears, yet longing for the life He promised. That longing isn't wishful thinking, it's a divine compass, guiding you to a spiritual awakening that will redefine your faith journey. Let's talk about your pain for a moment. You've felt invisible, haven't you? Like your prayers bounce off the ceiling while others seem to walk in miracles. You've watched doors open for people who seem less faithful, less deserving. You've carried a loneliness so deep it follows you into crowded rooms. Maybe you've even believed the lie that God has favorites, and you're not one of them. But God is whispering to you now, what looked like delay was divine preservation. Every closed door was my protection. Every unanswered prayer was me guarding you from settling for less than my best. Your struggles weren't random, they were strategic, building a resilience that can carry the weight of your divine purpose. Think about Joseph, thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, forgotten in a dungeon. For 13 years, every door slammed shut. Yet Genesis 50:20 reveals the truth. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Every betrayal was shaping his testimony. Every injustice was increasing his anointing. Your story is no different. That job you lost, it was redirecting you to a calling you couldn't see. That relationship that broke your heart, it was protecting you from a future that would dim your light. That financial struggle that keeps you awake at night, it's teaching you to trust God's provision over man's economy. You weren't punished, chosen one. You were positioned. Now, let's address the fear that's holding you back. You're scared, aren't you? Scared of failing, of stepping out and falling flat. Scared of succeeding and what it might demand of you. Scared that you're not enough, not spiritual enough, not qualified enough, not ready enough. Let me tell you a holy secret. Fear is a liar, but it's also a coward. It only has power when you give it a throne in your mind. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That fear you feel, it's not from God. It's the enemy's last desperate attempt to keep you from the breakthrough that's already yours. Consider Sarah, a woman I met in a small church in Ohio. At 45, she was a single mother of 2, working a dead-end job, battling anxiety that told her she'd never amount to anything. She dreamed of starting a community center for at-risk youth, but was paralyzed by fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not having enough resources. One Sunday, during a sermon much like this message, she felt a stirring in her spirit. She wrote down her goal: start the center within 6 months. She took a practical step, contacting a local pastor for support. Today, her center serves over 100 kids, funded by grants she never thought she'd qualify for. Sarah's fear was real, but her faith was stronger. Her story isn't verified by headlines, but it's real to those kids whose lives she's changing. Your fear is no different. It's loud, but it's not invincible. And here's the truth that will set you free. On the other side of your greatest fear lies your greatest breakthrough. The door before you doesn't open to perfection. It opens to courage. It opens to those willing to move forward, even with trembling knees. Psalm 31:24 says, "Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord." Your hope isn't weak. It's a thunderous declaration of what God has already decreed in heaven's courts. But hope without action is just a daydream. Faith without movement is just a wish. So let's get practical. God's about to do something shocking in your life, but He's not asking you to wait passively. He's asking you to partner with Him. Here are 3 specific, relatable steps you can take today to position yourself for this breakthrough. First, write down one goal for the next 7 days. It could be starting that project you've delayed, applying for that job, or even praying for 5 minutes daily with intention. Write it clearly, somewhere you'll see it every day. Second, reach out to one person you've been avoiding, someone you need to forgive, encourage, or reconnect with. Send a text, make a call, or write a letter. That single act of obedience can unlock doors you can't yet see. Third, take one small step toward your calling. If you feel led to start a ministry, register a domain name. If you want to write a book, draft the first page. If you're believing for financial breakthrough, update your resume or research a side hustle. These steps aren't grand, but they're powerful. They signal to heaven that you're ready to move. If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting our mission through Super Thanks below. Your generosity helps us reach more chosen ones standing at their own divine thresholds, searching for the courage to step forward. Every seed you sow spreads hope to someone who feels forgotten. But whether you give or simply receive, know that your presence here is no accident. You're part of a family of chosen souls, bound by divine purpose. Now, let's talk about what's on the other side of this door. Picture a scroll unfurling in heaven, its parchment glowing with promises written in divine ink. Your name is there, not as an afterthought, but as the centerpiece of a plan so magnificent it required every struggle you've faced to prepare you for it. Isaiah 61:3 promises, God will give you beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. This isn't just about financial breakthrough or relational healing, though those may come. It's about personal transformation, becoming the version of you God saw when He formed you, the version that walks in authority, speaks with boldness, and carries a legacy that will outlive your earthly days. But here's the urgency: this door won't stay open forever. Revelation 3:8 declares, I have set before you an open door which no one can shut. But notice, Jesus doesn't say it stays open indefinitely. Divine timing has windows that open and close with precision. Noah had a window to build the ark. Esther had a window to approach the king. You have a window right now, and it's counting down. Don't let fear convince you to wait for a better time. The enemy's greatest weapon isn't attack, it's procrastination. He doesn't need to stop you. He just needs to slow you down until your season passes. Think about David, a shepherd boy facing a giant. Did he feel ready? His knees were probably shaking as he picked up those 5 smooth stones. But 1 Samuel 17:45 shows his resolve. I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. David didn't wait for fear to vanish. He acted in spite of it, and a nation was delivered. Your giant might be a dream you've buried, a relationship you've given up on, or a fear that's held you captive. Whatever it is, God's saying, face it now. I've already given you the victory. If you're feeling that fire in your spirit, type I am stepping into my breakthrough in the comments below. Your declaration isn't just words. It's a spiritual contract, a signal to heaven that you're ready to claim what's yours. And when you comment, pray for the person above you. That's how we build a community of chosen ones, lifting each other toward our divine purpose. Thousands are standing at their own doors, trembling with anticipation. Your words could be the spark they need to move. Let's talk about the lies you've believed. The enemy has whispered that you're too broken, too old, too far gone. He's convinced you that your mistakes disqualify you, that your pain defines you. But Romans 8:28 thunders, all things work together for good to those who love God, who are called according to His purpose. Your brokenness isn't your end, it's your beginning. Like the alabaster jar broken to anoint Jesus, your cracks are where God's light shines through. Your scars are your story, proof that you've survived battles most would crumble under. Consider Maria, a 62-year-old grandmother from Texas. She spent years believing she was too old to make a difference. Her husband's death left her grieving, her savings dwindled, and her confidence shattered. But one night she stumbled across a message like this one. She took a step, volunteering at a local food bank. That small act led her to start a weekly meal program for struggling families. Today, she feeds over 200 people a month, funded by donations from her community. Maria's age wasn't a barrier. It was her qualification, proof of a life seasoned for service. Her story may not be in history books, but it's etched in the hearts of those she serves. You're no different. Your past doesn't disqualify you, it authenticates you. Your pain doesn't limit you, it educates you. Your struggles don't condemn you, they commission you. God's not looking for perfection, He's looking for willingness. He's not asking you to be ready, He's asking you to be present. The door before you doesn't open to the complete, it opens to the courageous, the ones who dare to believe they're worthy of God's best. Now, let's address the doubt that's creeping in. Some of you are thinking, this sounds too good to be true. What if I step out and nothing happens? That doubt isn't wisdom. It's the enemy's final stand. The very fact that you're questioning whether you deserve this breakthrough proves how deeply the devil has twisted your identity. Let me ask you this. What if your biggest struggle hasn't been your circumstances, but your refusal to believe you're chosen? What if the prison you're in isn't made of bars, but of lies you've accepted as truth? Hebrews 11:1 says, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Your faith, battered but unbroken, is the key to this door. Picture yourself standing before that radiant door, its golden light casting away every shadow of doubt. On this side, you're surviving, questioning, fighting fears. Step through, and you become who God always saw: bold, anointed, unstoppable. This isn't about temporary blessings. It's about a destiny that will echo through generations. Your children will walk in freedom because you broke the curse. Your community will find hope because you dared to shine. Your life will be a testimony that God still moves mountains. But here's the sobering truth. This moment won't last. The door is open, but it's creaking, beginning its final swing shut. Esther 4:14 warns, if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. God's plan will unfold, but you could miss your crown. You could watch from the sidelines as someone else steps into the destiny you were too afraid to claim. Don't let that be your story. Don't let hesitation steal what faith can secure. Think about Peter stepping out of the boat onto raging waves. Did he have clarity? No. Did he have guarantees? No. But Matthew 14:29 says, he walked on the water and came toward Jesus. For those glorious moments, Peter defied impossibility because he fixed his eyes on the one who called him. Your waves might be financial lack, broken relationships, or crippling fear. Fix your eyes on Jesus and step out. The water will hold you. Not because you're perfect, but because He is. If you're ready to claim this shocking breakthrough, type, "I am claiming God's promise" in the comments below. Your words are a declaration, a stake in the ground that says, "I'm done with fear. I'm stepping into my destiny." And when you comment, lift up the person before you in prayer. That's how we become a holy army, each warrior strengthening the next. Join thousands of chosen souls by subscribing to Stay Connected to Your Divine Purpose. Hit that bell to never miss a message that could change everything. Now, let's talk about what happens when you step through this door. It's not just about you. Your breakthrough is a domino triggering freedom for others. Imagine a family reconciled because you forgave, a community transformed because you started that ministry, a generation blessed because you refused to quit. Isaiah 55:11 says, "My word that goes out from my mouth will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." God's promises over your life are active, moving, unstoppable, but they require your yes. Consider James, a 30-year-old mechanic from Georgia. He grew up in a home fractured by addiction, believing he was destined to repeat his father's mistakes. For years he avoided church, convinced God couldn't use someone with his past. But one evening, a friend shared a video like this one. James felt that stirring, that divine nudge. He took a step, attending a local Bible study. There, he found mentorship and purpose. Today, he leads a men's group, helping others break free from the cycles that once trapped him. James' past didn't disqualify him. It was his testimony, proof that God redeems what the world discards. Your story is no less powerful. The enemy wants you to believe your mistakes are your identity, but God says your purpose is your destiny. Every struggle you faced was a setup for a comeback so dramatic it will leave skeptics speechless. But you don't get there by waiting. You get there by moving. Those 3 steps I gave you, write a goal, reach out to someone, take a small step toward your calling, they're not suggestion, they're keys, unlocking the door to what God's about to do. If this message is fueling your faith, consider supporting us through super thanks below. Your gift helps carry this truth to others who are one moment away from surrender, reminding them that God's plan is still alive. But whether you give or simply listen, know that you're not alone. You're part of a remnant, a holy family standing at the threshold of breakthrough. Picture a battlefield, not of swords and shields, but of dreams reborn, curses broken, and destinies reclaimed. That's where this door leads, not to comfort, but to conquest. Luke 12:48 says, "To whom much is given, much will be required." Being chosen isn't about privilege, it's about responsibility. Behind this door are souls waiting for your courage, battles waiting for your faith, miracles waiting for your obedience. You're not just receiving a blessing, you're becoming one. But the clock is ticking. This isn't a season, it's a moment. John 9:4 warns, "We must do the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work." Your night hasn't come yet, but it's approaching. Don't let fear write the end of your story. Don't let doubt steal your chapter of victory. The door is open, the path is clear, and God's promises are sure. What happens next depends on you. Chosen ones, the door before you is not just an opportunity, it's a divine mandate, a sacred summons etched into the fabric of eternity. You're standing at the edge of a precipice, not of peril, but of promise. The air around you is charged, electric, with the anticipation of heaven itself. Can you feel it? That pulse in your spirit, that quickening deep within. It's not anxiety, it's awakening. It's the sound of your destiny demanding to be claimed. What God's about to do in your life will shock you, not because it's beyond His power, but because it's been within His plan all along, waiting for this precise moment when your heart and His timing align. Let's talk about the weight you've been carrying, the unseen burdens that press against your soul. You've walked through seasons where every step felt like trudging through quicksand, where hope seemed like a distant star you could see but never reach. Maybe it's the grief of a dream that crumbled, the sting of a betrayal that still lingers, or the exhaustion of fighting battles no one else acknowledges. You've wondered, God, where are you in this? Have you seen my tears? Let me assure you, chosen one, He has. Psalm 56:8 says, "You have kept count of my tossings. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book?" Every moment you felt abandoned, God was collecting your pain. God was collecting your pain, not to store it, but to transform it into a testimony that will shake the foundations of doubt. Imagine a vast tapestry woven with threads of every struggle you've faced. From a distance, it might look chaotic. Knots of rejection, frayed edges of loss, tangled strands of fear. But step closer, and you'll see the masterpiece God has been crafting. Every thread, every knot, every tear was deliberate, placed by the hand of a master weaver who sees the end from the beginning. Your life isn't a random collection of hardships. It's a divine design, a story of redemption that's about to unfold in ways that will leave you breathless. Romans 8:18 promises, "The sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us." That glory isn't a distant dream. It's on the other side of this door, waiting for you to claim it. But let's address the voice that's whispering in your ear right now. The one that says, "You're not ready. You've failed too many times. This is for someone else." That voice isn't your conscience. It's the enemy, and he's terrified of what happens when you step into your divine purpose. He knows that when you cross this threshold, you become a threat to every lie he's sown in your life. He knows that your breakthrough will ripple outward, shattering chains for others who are watching, waiting, hoping for proof that God still moves. John 10:10 warns, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy." But Jesus counters, "I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." The enemy wants to steal your confidence, kill your courage, and destroy your calling. But God is offering you abundance, life so full it overflows into every corner of your existence. Consider Rachel, a 38-year-old teacher from Colorado. She spent years battling self-doubt, convinced her past mistakes, failed relationships, a stalled career, meant she was unworthy of anything extraordinary. She'd sit in her classroom after hours, grading papers, feeling like her life was stuck in a loop of monotony. But one day, she heard a message like this one, urging her to silence the lies of inadequacy. She took one of the steps you've already been given. She wrote down a goal to start a mentorship program for her students. That small act of faith led her to connect with a local nonprofit. Today, her program supports dozens of teens, giving them hope she once thought she'd lost herself. Rachel's story isn't in the news, but it's written in the lives of those kids who now believe in their own potential. Her doubt was loud, but God's call was louder. You're standing at a similar crossroads. The lies you've believed about yourself are just that, lies. They're not your identity, they're not your destiny. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works which God prepared in advance for us to do." Before you took your first breath, God prepared a path for you, a purpose so unique it fits only you. Your mistakes didn't erase it. Your fears didn't cancel it. Your delays didn't destroy it. It's still there, glowing behind that radiant door, waiting for you to claim it. If this message is igniting a fire in your spirit, consider supporting our mission through Super Thanks below. Your generosity sends this divine call to others who are one moment away from giving up, reminding them that their faith journey is far from over. Every seed you sow helps us reach a soul standing at their own threshold, desperate for hope. But whether you give or simply listen, know that you're part of a holy remnant, a family bound by divine purpose, cheering you toward your breakthrough. Now, let's talk about the power of your yes. Your yes isn't just a word, it's a spiritual force, a declaration that shifts the atmosphere. When you say yes to God, you're not just agreeing to a plan. You're unleashing a chain reaction of miracles, not only for you, but for those connected to you. Think about Mary, a teenage girl in Nazareth. When the angel Gabriel announced she'd carry the Savior, she could have said, "I'm too young, too ordinary, too afraid." Instead, Luke 1:38 records her response, "I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled." That yes didn't just change her life, it changed the world. Your yes carries similar weight. It's not about your ability, it's about your availability. But here's the challenge. Saying yes means letting go. It means releasing the need to control every outcome, the need to have every question answered, the need to feel fully prepared. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." That strength isn't something you muster on your own. It's poured into you when you step forward in faith. You don't need to know the entire path, you just need to trust the one who carved it. The door before you doesn't open to certainty. It opens to surrender, to a life where God's power fills the gaps of your weakness. Picture a river, its current swift and strong, carrying you toward a destination you can't yet see. You've been standing on the bank, hesitant to step in, afraid of where the current might take you. But that river is God's plan. and it's been flowing toward your destiny since before you were born. The moment you step in, you're not swept away, you're guided. The moment you surrender, you're not lost, you're found. Psalm 32:8 promises, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." God's not asking you to navigate this alone. He's asking you to trust His guidance. If you're feeling that surge of courage, type, "I say yes to God's plan" in the comments below. Your declaration is a beacon, signaling to heaven that you're ready to move and inspiring others to do the same. When you comment, pray for the person above you, lifting them toward their own divine moment. This is how we become a community of chosen ones, each yes strengthening the next. Thousands are watching, some with tears in their eyes, knowing this is their moment too. Your words could be the push they need to step forward. Let's talk about the legacy you're meant to leave. This door doesn't just lead to personal transformation, it leads to generational impact. Your breakthrough isn't just for you. It's for your children, your friends, your community, and even strangers you'll never meet. When you step through, you're not just claiming your destiny, you're paving a path for others. Think about Abraham, called to be the father of nations. Genesis 12:2 says, "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing." His obedience didn't just bless him, it blessed generations, fulfilling promises long after he was gone. Your yes today could do the same. Consider Daniel, a 27-year-old barista from Seattle. He grew up in foster care, carrying the weight of rejection and the fear he'd never belong. For years, he avoided his dream of becoming a counselor, convinced his past made him unfit. But one night, scrolling online, he felt a stirring from a message like this. He took a step, enrolling in an online counseling course. That small act led to a scholarship, then an internship. Today, he counsels teens in foster care, helping them find the belonging he once craved. Daniel's story isn't verified by records, but it's real to those kids who see hope in his eyes. His past didn't limit him. It fueled his purpose. Your legacy is waiting on the other side of this door. It's not about fame or wealth, though God may grant those. It's about impact, about lives changed because you dared to say yes. The enemy wants you to believe your life is small, but God says it's seismic. Every step you take reverberates through eternity, touching souls you'll only meet in heaven. But you don't get there by staying still. You get there by moving, by trusting, by believing that what God's about to do will shock not just you, but everyone watching. Chosen ones, the question hangs in the air like a sacred challenge. What will you do? The radiant door before you, pulsing with the golden light of divine promise, isn't just an invitation, it's a summons to a life so extraordinary it will redefine everything you thought possible. You're not standing here by chance. You're not a bystander in God's plan. You're the centerpiece, the chosen vessel through whom heaven intends to pour out miracles that will shock the world around you. The sunrise of your destiny is breaking, its rays piercing the shadows of doubt and despair. But this moment demands more than admiration. It demands action. It demands courage. It demands you. Let's talk about the resistance you're feeling right now, that heaviness in your chest, that flicker of hesitation. It's not just fear. It's the weight of a world that's tried to dim your light, to convince you that your dreams are too big, your calling too bold. You've lived in a culture that celebrates smallness, that rewards conformity over courage. Maybe you've been told to play it safe, to settle for a life that fits within the lines others have drawn for you. But God's plan for you was never safe. It was audacious, it was world-changing. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Those plans aren't for a life of mediocrity, they're for a destiny that makes history tremble. Picture a seed buried in the earth, surrounded by darkness, pressed on all sides by the weight of the soil. It doesn't look like much, just a small, unassuming thing, but within that seed is the potential for a mighty oak, a tree that will tower over the landscape, offering shade and strength for generations. You are that seed, chosen one. Every pressure you've faced, every moment of darkness, has been the soil preparing you to break through. The world sees the seed, but God sees the tree. And right now the ground is cracking open. The time for hiding is over. The time for rising has begun. But rising means confronting the excuses you've clung to. Maybe you've told yourself, "I'll step out when I'm stronger, when I have more resources, when the timing feels right." Let me tell you a truth that will cut through those excuses like a sword. The timing will never feel perfect. The resources will never seem enough. The strength will come in the stepping, not the waiting. Look at Gideon in Judges 6. When God called him to lead Israel, he was hiding in a winepress, calling himself the least in his family. Yet God saw him as a mighty warrior. Gideon didn't feel ready, but he moved anyway, and a nation was delivered. Your readiness isn't the requirement, your willingness is. Consider Lisa, a 52-year-old nurse from Michigan. For years she dreamed of opening a free clinic for her underserved community, but was paralyzed by the excuse of not enough time. Long shifts and family responsibilities left her exhausted, and she told herself, "Maybe when I retire." But one evening, a patient's gratitude sparked something in her. She remembered the steps you've been given. Write a goal, reach out, take a step. She wrote down her vision, contacted a local charity for advice, and started small by organizing free health screenings. Today, her clinic serves hundreds, funded by community donations. Lisa's story isn't on billboards, but it's alive in the lives she's touched. Her excuse was real, but her calling was greater. You're no different. The excuses holding you back are loud, but they're not immovable. They're shadows, not walls. And shadows scatter in the light of God's truth. 1 John 4:4 says, "The one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world." That greatness isn't a feeling, it's a fact. It's the power of the Holy Spirit, ready to surge through you the moment you choose to move. The door before you doesn't open to those who have it all figured out. It opens to those who trust that God does. If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting our mission through Super Thanks below. Your generosity carries this divine wake-up call to others who are buried under their own excuses, searching for the courage to rise. Every seed you sow helps us reach a heart that's one moment away from breaking through. But whether you give or simply receive, know that you're part of a holy family, a remnant standing together, cheering each other toward destiny. Now, let's talk about the vision God has placed in your heart. You know the one, that dream that keeps you awake at night, that idea that feels too big to contain, that calling that both excites and terrifies you. Maybe it's a ministry to heal broken families, a business to fund kingdom work, or a creative project to inspire hope. Whatever it is, it's not random. It's a divine download, a glimpse of the future God has prepared. Proverbs 29:18 warns, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Your vision isn't just a desire, it's a lifeline, a beacon guiding you through the door to your divine purpose. But here's the trap. The enemy wants you to keep that vision in your head, locked away where it's safe but powerless. He wants you to treat it like a fantasy, not a mandate. Every day you delay, that vision dims, not because it's impossible, but because you've let doubt paint over it. Think about Nehemiah, tasked with rebuilding Jerusalem's walls. He faced opposition, mockery, and threats. Yet Nehemiah 2:18 records his resolve. I told them how the hand of my God had been favorable to me. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He acted on the vision, and a city was restored. Your vision is no less urgent. It's not a someday dream. It's a now assignment. Imagine a lighthouse, standing tall on a rocky shore, its beam cutting through the fiercest storms, guiding ships to safety. That's what your vision is. A light God has placed in you to guide others through their darkness. But a lighthouse doesn't fulfill its purpose by staying dark. It shines, even when the waves crash and the winds howl. Your vision will face resistance, doubt, criticism, obstacles, but that resistance isn't a sign to stop. It's proof that your light threatens the darkness. Shine anyway. Step through the door anyway. Trust God's favor anyway. If you're feeling that vision burn brighter, type, I will shine for God's glory in the comments below. Your declaration is a spark, igniting your purpose and inspiring others to let their light shine. When you comment, pray for the person above you, asking God to strengthen their vision. This is how we build a community of chosen ones, each light amplifying the next. Thousands are watching, some with dreams they've buried, needing your courage to unearth their own. Let's talk about the cost of staying still. Every moment you hesitate, you're not just delaying your breakthrough, you're risking it. The enemy doesn't need to defeat you, he just needs to distract you long enough for your window to close. Think about the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. The servant who buried his talent didn't lose it through rebellion, he lost it through inaction. He played it safe, and Jesus called him wicked and lazy. Your calling isn't a suggestion, it's a stewardship, a gift you're accountable for. Bury it, and you don't just miss your blessing, you miss the chance to bless others. Consider Mark, a 35-year-old carpenter from Oregon. He felt a calling to mentor young men in his church, but kept putting it off, waiting for more time and better skills. Years passed, and the need grew. Teens in his community were lost to gangs and despair. One day, a boy's overdose shook Mark awake. He took a step, starting a weekly mentorship group. Today, he guides 20 young men, teaching them trade skills and faith. Mark's delay cost time, but his action saved lives. His story isn't in books, but it's written in the futures of those boys. Don't let your delay cost someone else's hope. Your hesitation isn't neutral, it's a choice, one that ripples through eternity. But so is your courage. Every step you take toward this door sends shockwaves through the spiritual realm, declaring that God's promises are true, that His power is real, that His chosen ones are rising. Isaiah 61 says, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. This is your arising moment, your shining hour. The door is open, the glory is waiting, and the world is watching.